Every extra on Breaking Bad has their story, and this is mine.
I got gused. I got gused. I got gused. I used to have the kids come in to Highland High School's theater on Saturday if they wanted to make a movie. And I would make a movie with whoever showed up, something that I had, dreamt up, mixed up, brewed, created. And I would make the movie with whoever showed up. This one week, I was making this movie.
Yarn, damn it!
And when it was all over, this one kid, a redheaded kid named Ryan, said there was auditionings for a movie just down the block. Yeah. Well, I could go down the block to audition for a movie. That didn't seem too bad. And so there, near Zuni, was sort of like an open garage, and people were just signing up and going in, and I don't know how Ryan heard about it. Maybe he had an agent. So I went in, and the woman looked up at me after they took a picture of me. I didn't bring a headshot, and says, "You look familiar. Do I know you?" And I says, "I don't know." And I told her who I was. 1 year later, I got a call asking me if I wanted to be on Breaking Bad from a casting director. And I think it was this woman that I'd seen the year before. I had been keeping up with Breaking Bad, and this was the episode, season 3, episode 1. First season after the airplane crash over Albuquerque, and I showed up chicken/taco place on Isoleta Boulevard, and wear some slacks and a button-up shirt. Oh, and bring your car. We'll pay you extra to park it in the parking lot. Okay. So I got there, as I'd costumed myself, and at one point in the morning, they put me in a booth inside the chicken shack. They had placed another extra across from me, a woman who I found out was the mother of one of my students, so I thought we had a lot to talk about. Her daughter did this with the Xerox machine, which I kind of like, and so she was my teacher. I thought we had a lot to talk about, but it seemed that this woman thought that this was her step to Hollywood, that she was going to go right from this booth into, I guess, starring in a Hollywood movie. So we didn't have much to talk about. And they gave me this ribbon honoring the victims of the airplanes that crashed in the sky above Albuquerque. And then they gave me some chicken, fried chicken, and some very watered down Coke. And I looked at the fried chicken and I go, okay, I got to play a character here. I'm a celiac and I can't eat wheat, so maybe I'll just peel. That's it. I'll just peel the chicken fried part off of it. Oh, then there would be the chicken there, and I'd eat that. So I'm peeling there off the crust there, and I look up and I notice that behind me they had put Walter White. So Walter White was sitting behind me, and straight in front of me was Gus. And I thought, wouldn't it be funny? I should just get on the phone and call APD and say, hey, I know those two drug kingpins, Walt and Gus. I'm right here with them. Just come on, bring your paddy wagon, arrest all of them. They're right here. Yeah, but that's when I realized that I was real, and these were just guys acting characters. And I looked up at Gus, and he was in his full Gus costume. This was Giancarlo. And this was the day that Giancarlo had brought his daughter to work. So she was sitting there at a table next to him, just coloring for all she was worth, because, you know, she was somewhere between 8 and 11, just coloring away. And he looked down at her, and then he looked up at the camera, and then they said action, and I looked up, and he was counting his rosary beads in his hands. He put those in his pocket, checked his zipper, and stepped into frame, and looked down at me and said, "Would I like a napkin?" Now, all of this just stunned me. He transformed into Gus right there in front of my eyes, and he came up to, and he talked to me, and I didn't know I had any lines, and I looked up at him, and he looked down at me, and I had that greasy chicken in my hand. Then I realized I have suddenly been sucked into TV land. I am no longer in reality. I am a character in a TV show. And I looked up at him, and this is what came out of my mouth. No! That high pitch. No! And he just looked at me, and then he went on, then he crossed out of camera and went over to Walter White, sitting behind me, and I have to say that, so he went out, we did take two, got a little bit better. He didn't ask me if I wanted a napkin this time, he just gave me one, and I kept peeling the chicken, and we did one more take, and as in all the takes, he counted his rosaries, put them in his pocket, checked his zipper, stepped into frame, but by this time I was used to it, and I treated him just like any schmo would, you know, a restaurant employee. I don't care if he was the owner, not knowing his backstory. I just, and I just went on and peeling on my chicken and pretending to talk to the woman while he went over and I talked to Walter White. So whenever they showed this scene, I'm between Walter White and Gus. What I remember is him looking down at me with that intense stare, and he was in full Gus mode, and I suddenly wasn't in reality anymore, but in Breakin Bad TV land. And I was in the TV show. I was in the TV show.